Good morning. I'm going to speak today about the water-soluble vitamins. Vitamins are essential nutrients needed in small amounts in diet, both to prevent deficiency diseases and to support optimal health. We have two classes of vitamins, the water-soluble vitamins and the fat-soluble vitamins. The water-soluble vitamins, which is our topic today, includes the B vitamins, the B group vitamins plus vitamin C, while the fat-soluble vitamins are vitamins A, D, E, and K. If we compare and contrast vitamins versus carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, which are the other components of diet, from the structure point of view, vitamins are individual units. They are not linked to each other, not like carbohydrates. There are monosaccharides, and when you link monosaccharides together, if they are two, you get disaccharides. If you link more than two, you get polysaccharides. So they can be linked together. Vitamins, in vitamins, this is not the case. They are individual units that cannot be linked or bonded to each other. They don't yield energy when broken down, like carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. And the contents in foods are measured in micrograms or milligrams because they are needed in tiny amounts and not in grams like the other components of food. If we compare water-soluble vitamins and fat-soluble vitamins, the main points are if we look at the absorption, the water-soluble vitamins, because of the water solubility, they pass directly to the blood. But the fat-soluble vitamins, when absorbed, they go to the lymph, like all the fatty foods, and then after going to the general circulation through the lymph, they get distributed all over the body. The transport in the blood, they travel freely. You do not need carriers like the fat-soluble vitamins. Storage, they circulate freely in the water-filled parts of the body. They are not stored, but the fat-soluble vitamins are stored in the cells associated with fat, like the adipose tissue and the liver. The excretion, the kidneys removes excess water-soluble vitamins readily in urine, and that's why the toxicity is very rare in the water-soluble vitamins. On the other hand, the fat-soluble vitamins are less readily excreted, and so they are likely to reach toxic levels when consumed from supplements in large amounts. The requirements, because of the easy excretion, they are needed in frequent doses. I'm talking about the water-soluble vitamins, while the fat-soluble vitamins are needed in periodic doses, perhaps in weekly doses or even monthly doses. The B vitamins, we're going to start to talk about them now. All of them act as coenzymes. Coenzymes means that they help the action of enzymes. The first the first member of the B complex vitamins is vitamin B1 or thiamine. In 1998, the RDA for men was 1.2 and for women was 1.1 milligrams per day. The chief functions of the body, it's a part of the coenzyme TPP, which is thiamine pyrophosphate, used in energy metabolism like conversion of pyruvate to acetyl-CoA by removing one carbon from the pyruvate. The sources include whole grain, fortified or enriched grain products, and moderate amounts in all nutritious foods, but it is easily destroyed by heat during cooking. Thiamine deficiency gives a disease called beriberi, and beriberi is of two types: a wet beriberi with edema and dry beriberi without edema but with muscle wasting. The symptoms include enlarged heart because of cardiac failure, and this is the cause of edema in the wet type, the heart failure. Other symptoms include muscle weakness, apathy, poor short-term memory, confusion, irritability, as well as anorexia and weight loss. No toxicity symptoms were reported for thiamine toxicity. Vitamin B2 or riboflavin. Riboflavin is involved in the compound called FAD, which is transformed to FADH2 during the tricarboxylic acid cycle. Compounds release hydrogens, and the riboflavin, which is vitamin B2, picks up two of these hydrogens. As it accepts two hydrogens, fat becomes FADH2, and this reaction is reversible. In 1998, the RDA for men is 1.3 and for women 1.1 milligrams per day. Chief functions, it's a part of coenzymes FMN, flavine mononucleotide, and FAD, which is flavine adenine dinucleotide, used in energy metabolism, as we saw in the tricarboxylic acid or Krebs cycle. Sources include the milk products, yogurt, cheese, enriched or whole grains, and liver. Also, it is easily destroyed by ultraviolet radiation and any form of radiation apart from the ultraviolet rays. Riboflavin deficiency gives a disease called ariboflavinosis, with symptoms of inflamed eyelids, sensitivity to light, reddening of the cornea, sore throat, cracks and redness at the corners of the mouth, painful, smooth, purple, red tongue because of inflammation, and skin inflammation characterized by greasy scales. No toxicity symptoms for riboflavin. Vitamin B3, niacin, has got other names: nicotinic acid, nicotinamide, niacinamide. It has got a precursor, which is the amino acid tryptophan. 60 milligrams of tryptophan in diet can build 1 milligram of niacin. And this property is unique among all the B vitamins. In 1998, the RDA for men was 16 milligrams, and for women was 14 milligrams per day. The upper level for adults is 35 milligrams. And here we notice that we have an upper level for adults, and this means that there is a toxicity if you exceed 35 milligrams per day. Functions, it's a part of coenzymes NAD, NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, and NADP, its phosphate form, which is used in energy metabolism. Significant sources include milk, eggs, meat, poultry, fish, whole grain and enriched breads and cereals, nuts, and all protein-containing foods because of the tryptophan. Niacin deficiency gives a disease called pellagra. Pellagra is characterized by 4 Ds: diarrhea, dermatitis, dementia, and death. Deficiency symptoms include diarrhea, abdominal pain and vomiting, inflamed, swollen, smooth, bright red tongue, depression, apathy, fatigue, loss of memory, and headaches, bilateral symmetrical rash on areas exposed to sunlight. Toxicity symptoms include painful flush and rash, this is called niacin flush, excessive sweating, blurred vision, liver damage, and impaired glucose tolerance. Biotin. In 1998, the adequate intake in adults was 30 milligrams per day. Chief functions in the body, it's a part of a coenzyme used in energy metabolism, used in fat synthesis, amino acid metabolism, and glycogen synthesis. Significant sources include many sources because it is widespread in foods. Organ meat, egg yolks, soybeans, fish, whole grains, also produced by the bacterial flora. Biotin deficiency gives central nervous system symptoms like depression, lethargy, hallucinations, numbness and tingling sensation in the arms and legs, red scaly rash around the eyes, nose, and mouth, and hair loss. There are no toxicity symptoms for biotin. Pantothenic acid. In 1998, the adequate intake for adults was recorded to be 5 milligrams per day. Chief functions of the body, it's part of coenzyme A used in energy metabolism. Significant sources also it is widespread in foods. Organ meats, mushrooms, avocados, broccoli, whole grains. Also, it is easily destroyed by food processing. These sources should be consumed fresh. Deficiency gives vomiting, nausea, stomach cramps, insomnia, fatigue, depression, irritability, restlessness, apathy, Hypoglycemia, increased sensitivity to insulin. No toxicity symptoms reported. Pyridoxine or vitamin B6. Other names include pyridoxal, pyridoxamine. In 1998, the RDA for adults between 19 and 50 years was 1.3 milligrams per day, and the upper level for adults is 100 milligrams per day. Chief functions: the part of coenzyme PLP, pyridoxal phosphate, and PMP, pyridoxamine phosphate, used in amino acid and fatty acid metabolism. It helps convert tryptophan to niacin and to serotonin. It helps to make red blood cells. Sources include meats, fish, and poultry, potatoes, legumes, non-citrus fruits, fortified cereals, liver, soy products, and deficiency symptoms gives or manifest by scaly dermatitis, anemia, the small cell type, depression, confusion, abnormal brainwave pattern, convulsions. Toxicity symptoms give rise to depression, fatigue, irritability, and headaches. Nerve damage causing numbness and muscle weakness leading to inability to walk and convulsions. And there are also skin lesions. We will stop here. Thank you very much.